This week on Shits and Giggles we discuss the biggest story of the week not talked about on the mainstream media. What the Japanese are accomplishing that Fat Man and Little Boy failed to do. The latest memes that make us giggle. Exclusive film of a giant man eating chicken. And ask, is the left preparing for democratic failure in the midterms? Well, are they? All this and more on the Shits and Giggles Show.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who is that awesome band?
I don't know. Who was that?
That would be Otto Bellum. They're great. They're a great new band. Don't try to buy their record because I have not released it.
It's not on iTunes yet?
No, that was me.
Oh.
That was me. And my buddy Keith Eagle comes in and helps me fix all the drums that I fuck up. And that song was called Rendezvous with Destiny. And of course, none of the lyrics were actually written by me. It opens up with Ronald Reagan. And of course, everything else is the
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance, pieces of the Declaration of Independence, and yep. That's right. We got a big show this week. Man. And it's been a long week. There's been so much stuff going on. We kind of had to parse it down.
Yeah,
But this is the one thing you will be getting. See, I have my Stable Genius shirt on. After watching last week's show, I noticed that I tend to start a sentence and then start a new one without finishing the first one. So you're going to get the newer, mellower Matt, which probably will last all the way up until something pisses me off. So there you go. Let's see. The biggest story of the week, not talked about on the mainstream media. That would be Mr. Tommy Robinson has been released from English prison. If you've watched our previous shows, you know that we've covered Tommy. Tommy is a English rights activist and free speech activist in the UK. He was reporting on a trial of a grooming gang. If you don't know what a grooming gang is, it's a group of fellas that usually Muslim guys that will
kidnap children.
Migrated to England. They'll kidnap children and they'll gang rape her. And that's part of their glorious culture that they're trying to bring to the UK. Tommy is dead set against it, and so he has reported on it. He has previously worked for the Rebel Media, or the Rebel Media, Canadian outfit, and that seems to be what he does. But they pulled him up. They pulled him off the street in mid-report. Tried him within 5 hours without allowing him to prepare a defense. They never read him what his charges were.
He never even got an attorney to help him.
Yeah, and he got sentenced to 13 months in prison. They're saying that, he was going to be finishing a suspended sentence. It got the appeals judge said what, Bri?
The appeals judge, when he finally got to go to court, on this, the judge looked at it and basically threw it out because it was ridiculous. The judge said that the government had overstepped itself, and I mean he was jailed for speaking his mind, for videotaping.
It's funny too if you watch the thing that got him arrested, right? He asked. Police officer was right there. Am I okay to record standing right here? And the police officer said, yeah, you're good. And then they changed their mind and they threw him in prison.
Well, the judge said that he was interfering with the ongoing case, which was a bunch of BS because whatever he was reporting and saying was already out on the internet from the BBC.
Right.
So if you actually watch this whole clip, we're going to show you a little clip of this interview with Tommy Robinson. But if you watch the whole thing, he actually explains mostly what happened to him.
Right. Feel free to look up the case. It's funny. I was reading some of the print media in England, and dude, they really are shitbags over in the old UK. Just self-hating English. They just willingly just letting their country be overrun by immigrants who are destroying the English culture, and they're essentially cheering Tommy Robinson's arrest in jail, and they're wringing their hands over him being let out of jail. It's really sad.
Yeah, you think we think our media is bad here? Whew.
Yeah,
their media is terrible.
Well, like we've said before, in England and the UK, you have these, I don't know, parts of the government that will. Hey, did someone forget to shut off their phone before we started?
Oh yeah,
good job, Brian. Yeah. They have these like courts or something like that really judge what they call hate speech, and it's very important that we never have hate speech laws here. Not because we're
like a PC court.
Yeah, a PC court, and it's not because we want hate speech here. We want all speech because we believe that Americans are smart enough to figure out what's good and what's bad. And in England and Canada, they would rather make that judgment for you, which is ridiculous. But the big story on this is that he was out of prison for a full 48 hours before I saw one report on the mainstream media, which was Tucker Carlson. And I want you to check out, if you ever seen videos of Tommy Robinson before, he's very alpha male, very outgoing, very articulate human being. I want you to watch this clip. Now, they kept him for 2 months solid in solitary confinement. He had to only eat what he bought because the other prisoners who are out to kill him, which was a mostly 70% Muslim prison, was preparing his food. So he survived on 1 can of tuna and 1 piece of fruit a day. The guards would frequently stop by his cell and say, "Hey, I know there's nothing you could do about it, but I just want to let you know we have intelligence that your wife and mother are been set up for acid attacks." And so he had to sit in his cell for 2 months thinking about that, not knowing if his wife and mother were okay. And it essentially boils down to mental torture.
Oh yeah, they've broken this guy. You know, he got, when he went to court, and the judge said this was all a bunch of BS, you need to let him go. It took another 2 weeks before they actually released him.
I really wish Tommy would move to America and do his work from here, but being a proud Englishman, I don't know if he will. But anyway, check out this clip, and keep in mind, where it's not necessarily what Tommy says. I want you to look into his eyes, and you tell me,
look at his demeanor,
if this guy has not been tortured. Go ahead, Brad.
Let me just ask you now, did anyone defend you? I mean, even if people disagree with you, you would think some would say he has a right, this man has a right to express his opinions. Did anybody defend your right to say what you think is true?
Everyone of authority and every media company and mainstream media lined up to completely do hatchet jobs about why I should be in prison and how I deserve to be in prison. And the worst one, I'm reading a human rights lawyer defending why I should be in prison. Now, I'm in prison. I'm facing absolute. Yep. They know what they're doing to me. They know. At the time when I was in prison, they then come and see me in my prison cell and say, "Police are on their way to your house because there's intel. There's going to be acid attacks against your wife." Now,
I'm sorry, Tommy. We're out of time, okay. And on that sad note, I wish.
Right here, look at him, man. He looks like he's shattered.
Yeah, they did what they set out to do. They broke him.
Unbelievable. Let's see.
This is what, just for all you socialists out there, this is what you get.
This is what you get when government gets to decide what you do and do not say. And this is what you look like when the ramifications are over. Just finish out that clip just so people could see.
You good luck in recovering from this and on the time you're going to take off. And I just want our viewers to understand that this has happened in a country that we believed was free, and without our vigilance, it could happen here. That's not hysteria. It's real. Tommy Robinson, thank you very much.
Yeah. Absolutely broken man. Sad.
Because I've seen many videos with this guy, and he is not a quiet person. He does not stare down at the table. I mean, look, he's broken.
Right. If you look at one of our past interviews, you show him in one of our past shows, we showed him in a back and forth with Pierce Morgan. That's not the same man. They've broken him. It's sad. On lighter news, Brian.
Yes.
Let's see. Bring up that.
We're going to go with the Japanese?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
By the year 3546, the Japanese will be extinct. Not from war, not from pestilence, not from any type of human violence. It's because they will have totally stopped the breeding and only have sex with sex robots and sex dolls. Japanese, as we know, are very hardworking, industrious folks. And sometimes some might consider them a little, I don't know, what would the word be? Socially awkward. And so these guys of hardworking men, instead of having to go through the hard work of finding a girlfriend or finding someone to breed with, are just coming home from work and laying down with latex women. Now, this story hit me because I've been saying for years that all humans are going to go extinct as long as they find a suitable cyborg replacement for the woman. No asking you to put the toilet seat down. No bitching, no moaning, no period. That's huge.
You get to go eat where you want to eat.
You
don't
eat
have to
where
ask
you want.
them.
They don't care how fat you are. They don't care if your clothes don't match. This is going to be a real problem as it goes. A lot of them don't say no. Here's a picture. Let's see the first one. Now, you got to imagine you're a hardworking 30-something-year-old. Look at that. You're not going to find a real woman that looks like that. Not if you're a heavily smoking Asian fella that works 90 hours a week. No. And so, but this is...
And they don't... I mean, their culture, they don't have time for it either.
They just don't have time. So this is a call out to women. Maybe stop complaining so much when a piece of latex could replace you.
It's funny though, is when you say that, I've read and heard a lot of women complaining that people, they can't find men that actually can talk to them.
Well, that's an issue here.
Yeah.
That is a big issue here. Absolutely. Particularly young folks that are, work on their cell phones constantly. We'll go into that in a minute. But I want to show you the next doll. I'm not going to say anything to you. Go ahead and open that up. Now, does that doll look like someone you know, Brian?
Well, I can't look at that. That's your wife.
Now, that's my wife if she didn't complain or anything like that. Yeah. So I know it's hard to believe with a face like this. Imagine that doll is a real person, but that looks a lot like my wife. And here's the deal, fellas. I've always had very good luck with the ladies, wouldn't you say, Bri?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good track record of good-looking chicks. And I was in Bozeman with my son and my nephew. And we went to a bar, college bar, and I was sickened, saddened, and disheartened by everything that I saw in that bar. Essentially, a college bar looked like a 7th grade dance. You had a whole wall of beautiful 20-somethings, and on this side, 20-something shoegazers staring at their floor, and these two groups were not interacting. Now, this is with the benefit of alcohol. And I was blown away. I said, this is not good. The entire world is going to end. Here's the thing that we have. We have instant access to porn. So no guys going out anymore with a loaded gun. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they're constantly beating it, I think. They're just drive to meet women.
No, I think that doesn't matter. The whole constant.
Well, that
beating.
and that they don't know how to talk.
Well, that's the thing. They don't know how to talk to them. They don't know how to do a face-to-face. I mean, everything is done now through text.
Oh, let's slide into each other's DMs.
Yes, and it's just like
it's ridiculous.
Never understood the whole sexting,
right?
The texting, it's.
Well, that should be a supplement. It should be once you're in a relationship, you and whoever are shooting dirty text back and forth.
Right,
That's
but
not
mostly-
how you establish a relationship.
But that's how they establish relationships anymore. Anymore,
days?
It's like, yeah, I know that made no sense. But like, go back to the Japanese real quick. They not only have these sex dolls, they also just carry around these little devices that are virtual girlfriends.
It's like that movie Her.
Yeah, and they carry this little thing with them, and then they take it out to dinner, and they sit down and have dinner with it, and they talk with it. They use their phone to communicate with it. It literally makes no sense to me.
That's so weird. Well, I mean, also too, I mean, I've talked to people that have gone to Japan. It's not like Japanese women are all that easy to talk to and start with too. Every time hi, how you doing? And how are you going to get a conversation started? What's the icebreaker? I don't know.
I have no luck in itself in the first place, so how would I know?
It's weird. I was showing the boys. I go, look, this is how easy it is, guys. There was a couple of girls sitting at the bar. So this is what you do. You tell the bartender, hey, buy these couple of drinks. Within 10 minutes, we had a group of hot young college age girls around us talking. Here's the rules, guys, and you got to know this. It's very simple. For one, don't go for the 5. Don't go for the easy pickings, because there is nobody more self-secure than the hot one, or unsecure, not self. Always go for the hot one. Always aim high. You can always pick up the 6 later. You can always pick up the spare later. Go for the hot one. Never tell a lie when you're first meeting. It's not because you can't lie. It's because you're not going to remember it. Always do the callback. Once you're engaged in a conversation, like the name, as soon as you hear the name, Janet, just go Janet, 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 Janet in your head. And then within the next 3 or 4 minutes, refer to her by her first name. And that's impressive to her. I know that's stupid sounding, but it works. And that's another thing. Always little compliments. Don't compliment something like, oh, your eyes are beautiful, like looking at. They could read through bullshit. But just make it a simple compliment.
Don't use the line, your dad must have been a magician because he stole all the stars from the sky and put them in your eyes.
Yeah, lines are stupid. Yeah, exactly. Lines are dumb. Just simple things. A compliment on, hey, you have beautiful eyes. Hey, I like your smile. Hey, they love when you point out the little stuff. Their fingernails. Ah, it's a cool color. I like your fingernails. And then move on with the conversation. They eat it up.
That's the problem, though. I don't think these 2 generations after ours know how to actually have a conversation.
They don't know. This is why you look in third world countries now breeding us. They don't have smartphones. They're not using Facebook. They still have to have that communication. It's important. You have to be able to communicate, and you'll find more meaningful relationships and stuff like that. And you're not going to end up having sex with a piece of latex for the rest of your life. Brian, now we looked at those 2.
Yes.
Would you try one out?
No.
Really?
No.
There's no way that you would just I'll give it a shot. Nobody's looking.
No.
Nobody would ever know.
No, I don't think I would.
You have something morally against it?
It's creepy.
Well, of course it's creepy, but dude, if you saw yourself third person rubbing one out, that's creepy too. I'm just saying.
No, I don't think I would.
I'd have to give it a go, I think. I mean, you might chafe. If you don't lube that properly, you're gonna have problems. You might need a little moleskin on your penis after when you're done. Let's see. We're going to take a little quick break, and when we return, me and Brian are going to go over some of our favorite memes that we've come across, and we're going to do that. All right. See you.
When we return, a man eating chicken? You won't believe your eyes on the Shits and Giggles Show.
Wow. I can't wait to see that.
That's going to be an interesting little clip there.
That's our new announcer, Alfred A. Applebaum. He's a little bit upset because we had to bend the space-time continuum to get here. He actually lives in 1926. I believe. A very early radio host, Alfred A. Applebaum. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting clip. And a world exclusive, only found here on the Shits and Giggles show.
Yep, we got the exclusive for this.
All right. I had an idea with Brian, and I said, you know what? Pull down a few memes, and we're going to find out which memes our watchers like better. And so we decided to make it a game out of it. You've all seen my free Tommy shirt, free speech shirt, and of course Tommy's out of prison. So I said, well, I might as well give it away on the show. I don't need it anymore. I'm gonna look dated if I wear it. So we're gonna play some memes for me and Brian, going back and forth. And the first listener, watcher, whatever, that tweets at us which meme they like best, I will send you that shirt. Secretly, I'm hoping it's my my follower Doc, because if I send something, I have a feeling I'm gonna be sending it somewhere cool. Because what you guys don't know is I'm a Navy SEAL and special operations fanboy. So, although I am followed by Rob O'Neill, so if my man crush Rob O'Neill does it, that would be kind of cool. I'd get to sign my shirt and send it to Rob O'Neill, which is the opposite of what I would actually want, is him to sign something and send it to me. So
I don't think you can get him to sign Bin Laden and send him to you.
Yeah, that'd be something. Just his head, Rob O'Neill. I think Rob O'Neill permanently tattooed the front of Bin Laden's head. All right, Ryan, let's see your first meme.
My first meme is going to be
a little busy, but that's a pretty good meme.
This is my first liberal doll. Yeah. Always crying, never grows up, don't have to feed it because the government does it for you, and no gender.
Oh, it's definitely a liberal doll if it's gender free.
Gender free.
Yeah. That's pretty good. A little busy. It's almost like a liberals type of meme, because we all know liberals can't meme. Hey, all right, let's go with my number one. My number one is, of course, the sexual assault weapon. I love this. Kevin Spacey can be mounted on the bottom of your AR-15 to make it a sexual assault weapon. Definitely to extra offend the Me Too's. I think Me Too's funny because if you're our age, we didn't say hashtag. We used to call that a pound.
That's a pound sign.
So it's actually pound me too.
Yes.
All right, Brian, let's see what else you have up your sleeve.
Yeah, the next one for mine is going to be, this is one I made.
Ooh.
And it is,
it's a Steven Crowder type of meme.
My wife never wants to have sex with me. Change my mind.
Change her mind.
Or, I'm sorry, change her mind.
That's pretty good. You made that up all by yourself?
I made it up all by my little self.
God bless you for trying.
And so,
all right, what do we got?
Your next one for you. Oh, this is one you made.
I made this one. My penis is this big. And look at the muscles on her.
Yeah, she's quite built, isn't she?
Well, she's a thin dude. She's built like a Haitian marathon runner.
No, but if you've seen her, she's about the size, just one side of her is the size of a Haitian marathon runner. Yeah,
the front, right, somewhere in between her knees and her hips. This is the side of a male Haitian marathon runner?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I had fun with that. I like to keep my memes simple. All right, Brian.
We'll head back over to mine. And so my next one is this one. What are you outraged by now? They haven't told me yet.
You know what? That's very topical, Briran.
This is
very topical.
Yeah, it's very millennial.
It didn't make me pee my pants.
No.
You see, I want, even though I'm giving something away, I want people to vote for my meme, right? Particularly you, Rob. I know you're out there, Rob. You've got long flights. You have time to watch this show.
Yes. Matt is in love with you, Rob.
It's a bromance. It's a bromance.
Sorry, we didn't want to sound too weird there, but
All right.
All right, now we're gonna go over to Matt's next meme.
I love this one. Simple.
This is a good one.
Shut up, Megs.
Shut up, Megs.
3 words. This is proof. I did not make this one, but this is proof that conservatives can meme better than liberals. And it's so fitting.
I think by far this is the best meme so far.
Hey, dude, you're trying to swing the audience.
I'm just letting you know.
It's easy for him to try to swing. He's not giving anything away. He's not going to have to pay the shipping to, hopefully, what is it, Gooseneck, Virginia?
So my next one, I also made this one up.
All right.
This one.
This is
there's a war out there, and we need warriors, social justice warriors.
that's pretty, dude, look at that fucking thing on the bottom left.
And
What
the
is
bottom right,
that?
just as bad.
That's a look. They left the house going, yeah,
This will go over well.
this looks good. Yeah, and then dude,
I'll show society.
the dude on the right doesn't have a T cell left. How can, like, I've seen, there are thin dudes that are still alpha male-ish and stuff. That's just that's a guy that goes into the bar and gets the 5. You chose the 5. You chose the 2.
You chose her as like the worst one, but this by far, this guy is the worst. I think. I mean, the look is just insane.
I don't understand. I just don't understand. I just can't. Just as
all right, so we're moving on to Matt's last meme.
my last meme.
This is a good one, too.
I do. Did I say little bitch? Then put your hand down, Jim Acosta. She is really good at making that dude look dumb. And he is really good at making himself look like a girl.
Yeah, he is the biggest. I don't even know what to call him. He's a baby.
He really is.
I've never seen anybody whine more than him, and he tries to make himself look so tough. But he's attacking. He's attacking a woman, and with this Me Too movement,
right.
If this was if it was somebody on the right attacking a woman, you people on the left would be going crazy over
Say,
this.
oh, you're bullying her.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
But no.
No.
Yeah. You'll attack her, call her fat, tell you she needs to be choked out, and kick her out of restaurants.
Yeah.
Just because she works for the President of the United States. That makes sense.
Yeah. Jim Acosta can go fuck himself.
Yeah.
To sum that up. All right,
All right,
Brian.
so that was the last one of Matt's.
Brian's got 2 extra. I think
got
mine
2
are
extra.
such quality that Brian had to load up 2 to try and beat me with quantity.
So here, this one was supposed to be in last week.
This one is awesome.
This is one.
This is I've got a challenger.
This is the last straw.
Yes.
California terrorist holding weapon of mass destruction. It's a giant straw.
How do you make a straw? What is that made out of, Brian? How did he do that?
I don't know. PVC pipe, maybe? Or somebody made him a giant straw. That's going to kill a giant turtle.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, that's going to kill the Megalosaurus. Megalodon. Megalosaurus.
Maybe we'll use it against Godzilla when Godzilla attacks, right?
There it is. That's just a straw made for killing Godzillas. It's also a straw made for Godzillas to drink a Coke.
And the last one, this is our favorite little socialist out of New York.
This looks like a meme that a liberal would put together, but very good. Yes, I realize that Medicare for All would cost $30 trillion over 10 years, but think about it. Trillion is just a billion with 3 zeros added, and zeros have no value, so there is no real cost. That sounds about right. That sounds about the type of mentality a young 28-year-old socialist would have.
Yeah, she probably thought this, but really never actually said
3
it.
weeks in a row, this dummy's made an appearance
on our show. Yeah,
on our show.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But it just shows you what the left is putting out there.
So there it is, folks. Me and Brian shared our favorite memes. If you like it, log on to Twitter. Let me know at MattBurnell916. And the first person to tweet their favorite meme to me will be receiving my free Tommy shirt that was worn on this show. I don't even know if it's washed. It might smell of my essence. Describe what you saw.
Oh my God, it was undescribable. It was hideous. I'd never seen anything like it. I don't expect to see anything like it again. My heart is still racing from it. What can I say? It was in my home.
Would you send your child to FRCs?
Again, I think we're missing the point. These individuals are there because they have broken a law. There has to be a process.
They have broken a law only as deemed so by the president with his...
No, ma'am. They're there for violation of Title 8 of the Immigration of the U.S. and Nationality Act. Okay, they're USC 1325. That's illegal entry is both a criminal and civil violation. They are in those FRCs pending the outcome of that civil immigration process. They have broken the law.
Well, these are mainly, my understanding is that under zero tolerance, these are no longer civil proceedings, but in fact were criminal proceedings.
They were criminal proceedings when the Border Patrol prosecuted them, but at the conclusion of that process, once the individual came into ICE custody, they would go through administrative proceedings.
I'm confused.
Okay.
So
the criminal proceeding is an individual being prosecuted for the criminal violation of improper entry.
What an idiot. What a fucking idiot.
She doesn't understand the difference.
I just saw that clip right now that she didn't think essentially that it was illegal or that there would be any consequences to crossing the border until Donald Trump became office.
Well, that's what the left's been saying from the beginning. This is not a criminal. They're not criminals.
It's never been illegal until
it is a criminal charge to cross over the border illegally.
It always has been. And here's another thing. She's from fucking Hawaii. Unless we have a bunch of Tahitians showing up in Hawaii in fucking canoes, what business is it of a senator from Hawaii? There is no illegal immigration to Hawaii.
Yeah,
these people are not bright. I don't know what you guys are voting for in Hawaii. She's a fucking idiot. There's another guy. We'll show this clip next week that thought that if we put too many troops on what island was it?
That was
this. I'm not even joking. This is serious.
It's in the it's over by.
It's
Japan.
the one that
it's over by
Rocket
Japan.
Man was shooting missiles over.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah,
he thought if we put any more troops on this island, that the island might capsize.
The island of Guam, wasn't it?
Guam.
Yes.
If we put any more Marines on Guam, that the island would capsize. I don't know how that Marine general kept his cool. I'd say you, sir, are a fucking idiot.
Right.
I can't get over it. So I got a conspiracy theory, Brian.
Yeah. What is that?
So I've been thinking this all week. I didn't tell you. So Facebook announced this week that they have suspended 32 accounts that they deemed inauthentic that sort of linked to Russia. And isn't that a convenient time for them to find these 32 accounts? They just lost 160 trillion?
No,
billion.
160.
Yeah, that would be big. It'd be their own country.
Hey, Apple just became a $1 trillion company.
They just lost, $100-something trillion in the stock market. Mark Zuckerberg lost 15 billion of his own money. And now all of a sudden there's this 30. They find 32 Russian or inauthentic accounts, and I think what this is Facebook, in collusion with the Democratic Party, preparing people for losses in the midterms. As we know, Facebook has worked in collusion. I think they had their own office in the Obama White House.
Well, they also, during the Obama campaign runs, Facebook gave every single piece of information they could to help Obama get his message out to people on Facebook, but did not reciprocate that to the Democrat or the Republican Party.
Well, of course not. I mean, we talked about it last week. We know who runs these companies.
Yeah.
They're millennials from the Bay Area, which essentially makes them invalid humans. They can build billion-dollar companies, but they can't think with the logical side of their brain. I honestly think that they're gearing us up to invalidate the election results, if the midterms don't go their way, they're automatically going to say, oh, Russia's at it again. Look. And I'm afraid that they're going to eventually gear up to, we need to find a new way to seat our representatives and president, like suggesting that we need to get rid of the vote. And if that happens, my friends, that's the day that guns come out of the safes. You try to get, as far as I'm concerned, if anybody attempts to eliminate the actual poll, the way that we do our elections, that's it. It's game over. I don't even believe in early election, other than troops that are overseas. I don't believe in early voting. I don't believe you should be able to vote by mail unless you're a certified wheelchair dude.
Disabled.
Yeah, disabled. You got to get your ass out of the house and go vote. It's your civic duty, and if you're too lazy to do that, you probably shouldn't vote. Just saying. Any attempt to ever make voting online, forget about it. We'll never have a legitimate election again.
No, and that has already been said. They want to do that, and it just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
No,
I mean, you already have what we have here in California with illegal immigrants now getting the right to vote in certain elections, and that's just going to make it even easier for illegal immigrants to vote.
It also gives us all the reason to our side, conservatives and libertarians, to show up at the polls in the midterms. The Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, I think that's why the White House came out the other day with all those people from the national security agencies, and they wanted everybody to know, look, yes, Russia did meddle in our elections. They are still doing it now, but it is at a very low amount now.
Well, here's
it's nothing like it was before.
Here's the one thing that they keep saying, Russia meddled. Buying Facebook ads or Twitter ads or whatever, that's your total level of meddling? Who votes on anything based on what they read in Facebook?
The left.
I guess so.
That's where.
Well, then it didn't work for them.
They've been polled. This is where they get their news. Is Twitter and Facebook.
If the Russians were actually trying to make people vote for Trump, I don't.
It's funny though. The bulk of money that was spent on Facebook was spent after the election last time, and that was to create divisiveness between the two parties,
right? So,
which they have done, and which the media has pushed. And if anybody is responsible for this, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go with Trump. It's the media.
Yep.
They're the ones doing this. They are making a bigger deal out of this than it actually ever was.
Right. I absolutely agree. If you are a member of Antifa or one of those people, who gave you the money? Like we noticed when Kavanaugh, they came out with Kavanaugh's announcement that he's going to be recommended to go to the Supreme Court. All these signs were already made up. Who paid for that? Nobody ever questions that. No one in the media ever says, where did the money come for these signs? How did these rent-a-mobs already show up? I
like some of the signs that just had name here on them.
Yeah.
And they actually did have name here on them. There was articles that were accidentally printed without putting Kavanaugh's name in, and it said add name here.
Yeah.
And so no matter who they could have put Nancy Pelosi in there, and they would have still posted the same article.
They're falling apart.
Yes.
Well, anyway, folks, hold on a sec. There's one thing I have to point out. My mug today was given to me by one of our listeners, followers, watchers, followers. Sounds like we're running a cult. One of our followers. This is from the American Embassy in Helsinki, Finland. They saw fit that we were doing such great work exposing Helsinki syndrome that they wanted to give us a mug from the U.S. This is actually a legit mug from the U.S. Embassy. Mr. Eagle from Eagles Collectibles on eBay, that's his eBay store, gave me this, and that's pretty freaking awesome. I'd like to thank you all for showing up today and watching our little program. I'm Matt Bernal.
And I'm Brian.
And we're doing this just for shits and giggles.
Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, enjoy the man-eating...
Oh, yeah, you thought you were going to forget about that.
The man-eating chicken.
We're going to go ahead and go to that now.
Yes. See ya.
Have a good day.
Oh my God, oh my God. Babe. Come here.
What?
The door's open. It's cracked open.
Oh, we probably left it open.
No, we locked it. I know we locked it. Dude, what the fuck? Look, it's open.
Dude, what the fuck? Hey, what the fuck are you doing? You're eating my fucking chicken, motherfucker! Ate the fucking
Government
chicken.
is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of men on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course the others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death!
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in its long climb to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening.
Free!